10 years ago today. 10. Man, how time flies. For context, all the way back in 2006, there was a channel made called Screw Attack, and they made a little series called Death Battle. Now, Screw Attack is pretty much extinct as of now, but Death Battle still remains as kind of a memoir for the channel, and the show has blossomed into something really big, spanning many seasons, episodes, a large fan base and community, and so much more. And it couldn't have done it without a certain matchup. Goku versus Superman. For those of you who don't know, Death Battle was made with this matchup in mind. Sure, there were a lot of other reasons it was made, but this is easily what was able to get it into fruition the most. Back in my Season 1 ranking, I said that I wanted to give this episode its own dedicated review, and when I said that, I knew exactly which day I wanted to get it out on, and that is, well, today. Unless you're watching this video after that, I guess. The 10-year anniversary of this episode. Death Battle is now 12 years old, and throughout that run, we have had a lot of matchups made, and there are certainly so many great ones, but none really feel as special as this one. Now, what I'm saying is that Goku vs. Superman is practically the Death Battle episode. It's one of the most debated versus fights on the internet. Heck, it might even be number 1. This matchup is still being talked about today, as well as this episode. Whether you love talking about your memories of watching it and how it holds up, or if you're still salty, this episode is still being discussed regularly. It had the most impacts not only on Death Battle, but in versus in general. That's why I feel this episode deserved its own dedicated video. So anyways, let's stop beating around the bush and get to the review. First off, the analyses are so good. I might even say they're some of the best of the entire show. Not only do they talk about these characters' struggles and stories really well, but they balance it out perfectly with all the versus stuff. And they feel really unique amongst most other analyses, as it feels like they truly go as in-depth as they could. For the time, at least. Well, I mean, obviously they didn't touch on everything, but I feel like they said what they needed to say. We have some pretty funny jokes, some fun moments, great explanations to how their powers work, great endings and end clips, and a whole bunch more. Also, when they said that Superman isn't completely invincible, they showed footage of Superman 64, which is just perfect. They knew what they did. It truly does feel like they're giving it their all in this department, and the longer runtime means they get to take more time on it. Overall, I don't really know what else to say here. The analyses are just really great. Now, onto the true main course of this episode, the animation, which starts with a Team 4-star skit. Huh, that's random. Some people don't really like this part, but I've always found it enjoyable. It's nothing offensive, and something I think is just a fun little thing for them to include, with the small little character interactions and setup. Although it is kind of weird for Goku to go after Supes because he thinks he's going to destroy the world, but when the actual fight starts, he says it's because Superman looks strong. They already established that part in the skit, why didn't they just keep the alien part out? I don't know, I still like it nonetheless. Now, the actual fight, here we go. Superman is seen watching over Metropolis when Goku shows up to challenge him, so before we get to the actual fighting, I want to mention a few things. First, how they bring in so much of each's arsenal. I'll mention the powers they bring in when we get to it, but they really pull pretty much everything these characters could do, or what they could do at the time at least, in against each other. Sure, some were missing, but I feel like they used enough to make it seem like the characters are giving it everything they've got to defeat the other. And it also shows that the crew really cared about these characters in matchup, and they wanted to pull a ton from these characters' history. Like a celebration of the characters in series. I love it. Next, the voice actors. Lawrence Simpson as Goku and Michael Agruso as Superman both do wondrous jobs as these characters and portray their personalities perfectly. Goku feels like the determined, carefree fighter he is, while Superman feels like the heroic voice of reason. They do a really good job in their roles, and the dynamic between them is great. There are so many fun interactions in this fight. Goku's constant thirst for fighting and Superman being super confused about what this stranger is and what he wants. It's really fun. Superman uses his increased hearing to spot Goku, he gets challenged, and before Superman can give an answer, Goku goes ahead and throws the first attack. Then we get to the actual fighting with a nice little exchange, we get a fast combo from Goku, and another thing I want to mention is how they were able to portray the sheer speed of Goku with the powerful might of Superman. And of course, both get their vice versa moments, but still. There are plenty of parts in this fight where characters are zooming across the battlefield and delivering powerful blows. It's really intense and fun, as well as being able to take a backseat whenever it needs to. And some of the stuff that happens here is really impressive for Season 1 standards. Heck, I'd even say this fight matches modern standards. Of course, not in the look department and rigging, but in the writing, impact, animation. It is seriously impressive that this came out when it did. I gotta give credit to the people who worked on this. Superman hits Goku through buildings, and gets his own moment of speed as mentioned just now, as Goku uses Kaioken. We get a pretty funny joke of Superman saying Kaio what, which is a Team 4-Star reference, which was pretty neat. We get this incredible shot of Goku flying before he gets Superman back on the ground. Superman then uses his X-ray vision to figure out Goku's physiology and pressure points, discovering that he too is an alien. Which again, was a pretty cool interaction of their abilities. I also just love the shot of Superman avoiding the ki blasts. I don't know why, I just do. Superman uses the pressure point attack in this really impactful sequence and pins Goku to the wall. I like how Superman explains what happened and just wants to talk to Goku, but he uses the Senzu beam to get right back to fighting, and then Superman just disintegrates it. That is, yet again, another really funny interaction. And then we get the transformation into Super Saiyan, which is just amazing. Goku blocking Superman's punch, his introduction, and all the hits he gives Clark are so impactful. And you can tell this is where Goku is really starting to amp up, as you can tell that he should start taking the fight a bit more seriously. And then we get the Kamehameha scream, which was so good. The only one that rivals it is Goku Black Swan from all the way in Season 8. And maybe Vegeto's one. That's how powerful this one is, and it's sold by the impact of the attack as well. The destruction of LexCorp Tower is so excellently done, from the sound effects to the visuals. I love it. And hey, it wouldn't be the first time that building took the L. I also love how Superman is unfazed by the attack. It really sells how tough and durable he is. But to show that he isn't indestructible, the kryptonite comes into play immediately. That was masterful writing, and makes for one of my favorite bits of character. When Supes is down and Goku is at an advantage, Goku destroys the kryptonite to allow Superman to get back to full strength. That not only reflects Goku always wanting his opponents at full strength for the best possible fight, but also that Goku and Superman are still heroes and will always do what's right, even if they're trying to kill each other. That might honestly be my favorite interaction in the fight. And Goku kicking Superman right in the middle of his sentence was really funny. We get this really great shot of them flying over the battlefield, keeping up with the other speed. Like I said, really impressive for Season 1 standards. Goku speeds around Superman creating after images, and Clark, unfazed by this, just walks up and hits Goku, sending him back. There's a nice swift shot of Superman getting behind Goku and smashing a car on him. Goku goes Super Saiyan 2. We see a neat exchange of abilities with Superman lasering the ki blast before using a lamp pole to smack Goku away like a baseball. And for some reason, minor nitpick, but the whole scene gets a lot darker for some reason. Maybe it's just me, but the visuals get a lot less saturated and become more dull. I don't know why, and I like my color, dang it, so this is a nitpick by my standards. Apparently it's because of the lack of sunlight, but I don't know why it would be that sudden of a change. But like I said, just a small nitpick. Goku hits Clark with the power pole and he recognizes it as feeling like magic, which is a neat callback to one of his weaknesses. It's also one of the only things that is able to penetrate Superman's body and deal some legitimate damage. And then what Goku says next reveals that he sees this as some sort of game, with Superman being baffled by this statement. Again, masterfully showing their different ideologies, and Superman saying that he hasn't even begun to play tells us that he's still not going all out. Superman flies away to more sunlight and Goku uses his senses to tell where he's going and teleport there. Goku intercepts Superman with the power pole and tries to hit him with another attack from it, but Clark knows what's coming now and catches it before he chucks it into space, getting rid of it altogether. Goku goes into Super Saiyan 3, we get another funny moment with a line from Superman getting cut off like before. After another combo, Goku tries to read Clark's mind to see what makes him so strong, but Superman takes wind of this and knocks him back, which was a very neat way of having some of the more lesser known powers bounce off each other. Goku uses the solar flare, but yet again to show Superman's power, he is not even affected and is able to get the jump on Goku. And after, we get this incredible transformation into Super Saiyan 4, with reality distorting all around them, lightning striking in the background, and the day turning to night. The atmosphere here is immaculate. Superman has a comedic line about Goku running out of hairstyles to banner Goku's very anime line about it being his strongest form. Following an amazing clash sequence where the two fly up and at first hit each other so hard to where we need to let the impact sink in, but then it transfers to them going at blistering speeds with the sounds of the hits like before not even being able to keep up. Goku does the T-pose attack as Superman uses his ice breath to attempt to stop Goku, but his form is just too powerful to where it doesn't work. This is where you can see that Superman is truly starting to meet his match. Goku isn't treating this like a game anymore. He's taking this as seriously as he can, and Superman realizes that he needs more power than what he already has, seeing the need to get above the clouds. The two fly up and we get the Kamehameha and Laser Eye Beam struggle with another great Kamehameha yell from Lawrence. And come on, we needed to see that beam struggle between the two, that was a must. Goku uses all of his power and might to make his Kamehameha the strongest it could possibly be and send Superman all the way to the sun. And after, Goku has to catch his breath, showing that he did struggle and try his best. But it still isn't enough, as he senses that Superman is still alive, and comes to the conclusion that he is powered by the sun, and with his power drained, he calls upon the sun to lend energy to create a spirit bomb. The scene with Superman powering up and Goku creating the spirit bomb is absolutely beautiful. Not only is it a nice suspenseful breather from the action of the fight, but it is also the two finally going all out and showing their real true potential. They're finally going their maximum. And the shot of Superman flying right through Goku's laser and flying them to the middle of the earth is absolutely breathtaking. The intense and climatic music and the impact. It's such a stellar shot. We get the final scene of Goku once again going Super Saiyan 4 and using the Dragon Fist while Superman uses the Infinite Mass Punch. And man, the sudden silence to let the impact sink in, the screen blackout to let us focus on the characters, the screen shaking more and more, and the earth exploding from the punch, with a silent but still very big boom that only gets louder and louder as the earth shatters around them, disintegrating Goku and blinding Superman as the screen goes white. This ending is immaculate. The music, effects, and sheer collision and impact makes this one of the best death scenes in the show's entire history. I love it so much. And the resolution with Superman being knocked out from the attack, only being awakened by the sun's light is just beautiful. And with that, the animation closes, and Superman goes off to look for the Dragon Balls. It is such a good way to let us calm down after what we just witnessed. Oh, and also Boomstick says that it's finally over and that they never have to hear about it ever again. Oh, if only you knew, buddy. And the post-analysis is also fantastic, going as in-depth as they ever will, going into each category and talking about the other's maximum potential. Heck, even the intro is good, I forgot to mention that. It talks about the legacy of this matchup and why it's such a big deal. And the end of the episode where they talk about what makes these characters so likable and what they're all about, and explaining the differences of the man who can break any limits versus the man with no limits is great as well. This episode is more than just a great episode of Death Battle, or even a passion project. It's a testament to Versus as a whole. The community wouldn't be the same without it. It's easily one of the most important videos of the whole community, if not the most important. This video is an example and explanation of what Versus is and why people love it. Hell, on Death Battle's 10th anniversary, Crossover X, Creep Switch, and more hosted a collaborative reanimated project of this very episode. Many people worked on it and made it something truly special. It's not just a celebration of Death Battle, but Versus too. I really recommend checking it out. I love this video a lot. I'll have it linked in the description. This episode is truly something special. It's easily one of my favorite episodes of the show, It's not quite my favorite, but it sure is up there. It's such a special episode and video. With a 30-minute runtime and a nearly 10-minute animation, that makes this episode easily the longest episode of Death Battle to date. And yet, somehow it can still keep you interested the entire way through, which is something that some far shorter episodes nowadays can't even say. It also serves as a small little time capsule back to the early days of Death Battle on YouTube. I always enjoy coming back to it. So yeah, there are my thoughts on Goku vs. Superman. And yes, my Season 9 ranking and Season 10 prediction videos will be next. Maybe. It depends. Hope you guys liked the video. I wanted to make this review pretty special, as an episode like this really deserves it. And also, happy first video of 2023 too. We'll have to see what else I make this year. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter for updates, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
It's over! It's finally over! We never have to hear about it again!
We? We